Welcome, 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 welcome. Isn't that from a movie? Hi.
Wow. Strong start.
That's way to go, host.
There we go.
That's the host.
We're starting out hot. That's getting clipped.
Yeah.
That's getting clipped right after the show.
What
Is that from a movie?
Welcome, welcome. What is that from? Somebody comment. I know that's from something.
No, there's not going to be any comment.
No,
Nobody's
it's
gonna
going to be
comment
from
on that.
something.
See any of that.
Hello, and welcome to Buffalo Plus. Playoff
Back
edition.
here. Well, it's been a weird stretch of times. We've been, live on some Sunday mornings, games on Saturdays. It's been a lot of that, but getting here on a Thursday and it'll air on television on Sunday morning.
I think I know it's from She's the Man. Welcome to, She's the Man. Thank you, our director Rusty.
Is that one of those?
It's with Amanda Bynes. It's really. Yeah, it's really good. Honestly, it is very funny.
All right, yeah.
Isn't there's something about Gouda?
Okay.
Okay. You talk about my stream of consciousness?
Yeah.
Look what she's got going here. The host.
The host.
Jenna's the
We
host.
are going to talk football.
Yeah, we can do the show because holding Fetes accountable is on.
He's ready to go?
Yeah, he's ready to
Okay.
go.
Any comments on the hoodie sport coat?
Nope.
No,
No?
it will be
Nothing yet?
coming. And by the way, we're going to be talking about merch is here.
Yes. Merch is here.
Yes, we have a site. We've got stuff up there. So Jenna's going to be.
Mike and I have
Everybody
worked
about
very
it.
hard.
We have been nonstop, Dan and I.
If you have a
Burn
complaint
the
about the
candle at both
website, it's because of Mike and Dan. No, there's probably going to be mistakes on there, but that's okay. We'll figure it out.
That would be Jenna's
Should we say
fault.
the link?
Yeah, say
Okay.
it.
Do you know what it is?
Buffalo Plus Shop Store.com.
BuffaloPlusStore.com.
If you like it, it's us. If you don't, it's Jenna.
Dan has some really good designs on
David
there.
Olivo.
Olivio?
He's from Puerto Rico. He's watching.
Oh, nice.
Go
That's
Bills in
cool.
Puerto Rico.
Love
Nice.
that. Thank you. We're going to talk
We're
all
ready to
about
start.
it. It's the playoffs. Oh, we're going to take
You have to say that.
we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Buffalo Plus, your interactive look at the week in football, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.
All right, welcome into Buffalo Plus, presented by Connors and Ferris, a special playoff edition. Mike Catalana, Dan Fetes. I am Jenna Cottrell. We're getting ready as the Bills taking on the Dolphins this week at Orchard Park. We know it's going to be a playoff game. We know the atmosphere is going to be insane in this one as well. Mike, where do you think this Bills team is at now as we head into this postseason?
I think they're in a good spot. I think last week was so strange, and all the news has been so positive about Damar Hamlin that I think it's been great for them. And they were able to navigate all that last week, Dan, and then go out and play. I mean, look, he's watching the game in one hospital. He gets out, goes to another one, then he gets out and he's in Buffalo. And then, obviously we saw what Nyheim Hines did. But I think they got to go through all of that, get through some of those emotions and play. Some guys are struggling with a little more than others.
Sure.
That's natural, but I think it was good for the team in total.
I think it lifted them up knowing that once he got out of the hospital, I think that motivated them, the crowd. Josh Allen called it a spiritual moment, bone chilling, all of those things. And then the teams needed to recalibrate and refocus. And Sean McDermott gave the team Monday and Tuesday off, and I think that's important. Mitch Moore said that everybody's processing these things differently, but you do need to refocus, and that there can be letdowns after such a high. They had to pick themselves up from such a low, but now you got to make sure you kind of even out. And I think that's something that they're on a good pace to do this week.
Yeah, they're on a good pace. Obviously, Damar Hamlin continues his recovery, as well as Micah Hyde back to practice. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but just seeing number 23 out there. He was a limited participant at practice this week. You saw the smile, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, what he means to this team and just the fact that he's back out here is pretty incredible.
Yeah, and he's healthy. He's gone through everything. He's just getting himself physically ready to play football. But look, on the football side, Damar Hamlin did a nice job attempting to fill in. I mean, we're talking about Micah Hyde here. And now Damar, obviously doing better, but he's not on the football field. And they need a player there. And if they can get through this week, and then to maybe have Micah Hyde back, I think is going to be huge for him.
And it has been a crazy week in the sense of more positive news has finally come out of Buffalo than negative news. We've talked at length about all of the things that this team has had to overcome, and they've gotten some good news Damar Hamlin has been released from the hospital. We showed Micah Hyde returning. So Sean McDermott was asked this week if he can sense that the tide is starting to turn, and his answer was perfect.
You guys are great, man. This is now we're just focused on this game, honestly. I appreciate where you're going with that, but this is not a soap opera. So we got one game to get ready for, and that's really what we're focused on.
Mic drop.
I love it.
What soap opera would he have watched?
Monday Night Football. No, I mean, we talk about it, though, but, I mean, we've been in Buffalo for quite some time this season, and Sean McDermott, obviously, you know, he can be a very disciplined, methodical, kind of buttoned-up type of coach, but this week I felt like, Dan, we kind of saw a more relaxed approach, which was kind of, I don't want to say surprising, but you could tell how much all this news in a positive way kind of turned out.
Yeah. Seeing some personality out of Sean. He was asked also on Wednesday what he was doing 6 years ago to the date, to which he laughed, "I don't know," and then goes, "But to the reporter, you probably do," and he goes, "That's weird." So he's been having some fun, and I think that's something that Mitch Morse talked about, of understanding that everything gets heightened in the playoffs, but you still need to have your personality. That you still need to do what has gotten you to this point and to kind of stay the course.
Yeah, there's so many things to navigate at this time of the year.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, in normal years, and this has not been a normal year in any way for the Bills. By the way, they've won, 7 in a row now? It's crazy just the way it's all happened. But you navigate injuries, you navigate wins and losses, you navigate personalities on your team. And what Sean has dealt with this team is remarkable. All of the things, the weird travel, everything. It's been documented, but it's one thing to just say it. They've been living it.
Yep.
And he's been able to maintain that. So to see him smiling and to see him loose, at least, now again, that's on Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. You know, you got to get to Sunday. But I think he knows his team. He has a good sense of his team, and I think that comes out.
Yeah, and even Mitch Morris talked about the fact that, you know, this team, there's so much going on, but the focus has to remain the same.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. And yes, we know Tua is not playing in this game, and that's a big deal. But Mitch knows, you've been around this league. It is one and done. And things can happen in this league, and you better be ready when the playoffs start.
This is a very dangerous team coming in here on both sides of the football. And it really doesn't matter who's at the helm at quarterback for them. They have playmakers and a defense that can really carry this team. And, you know, it'll be just a really great competitive match come Sunday at 1.
Yeah, I love that Mitch went into analyst mode at the helm he used for the quarterback. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
It was like Mitch Morris, analyst. But he's right in a sense of you can say all these things. And look, we can talk about, you know, the fact that if they get to the championship game with Kansas City, they're playing in Atlanta, all that is, you know, fine. And you got to win.
Yeah.
You got to win and advance. And strange things happen in the playoffs, so you got to be ready.
That is one thing, too, where I feel like we've talked about, and we'll talk about it more, just about, you know, the Dolphins, how they're not at full strength, how they're getting into the playoffs, obviously, but this is a Bills team that will be heavily favored in this game. But, Dan, I love how they're continuing to stay the course of this is a dangerous team. Yeah. They are taking it seriously because it's the playoffs. You can't overlook anyone.
It seems like a lot of the things they were saying are words they have echoed to me heading into the Monday night game, where they didn't want to put any extra emphasis on it. They wanted to keep things the same and to continue to go through the motions like they would throughout the season, but understanding what is at stake here. Mitch was the only one that game leading into Monday night that was like, yeah, we understand the magnitude of this game. And I think that is that calmness, that composure that has come with the team that has played in the playoffs 4 out of 5 of the last 6 years.
It's so funny because this week at practice, I was asking some of the players, like, you know, do you feel a shift in the building now that it's postseason? And some of the guys were like, yeah, there's more attention to detail, but it's the echoing the fact of like, no, we're going to be who we are. And even at practice, you see Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley there trying out the no-look pass. Like there was dancing at practice. There was still music at practice. That doesn't mean that they're not getting work done, but they are keeping their personality. There you see Stephon Diggs kind of breaking everyone down, pumping everyone up. There is that heightened intensity, but at the same point, Mike, this is a team that knows what they're getting into.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about all these other games, but each one of these games is the most important game.
Yeah.
You know
now it actually makes sense.
It does, because
when they say it in week 8, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Now I believe it.
Well,
agreed.
I get the mindset of staying in that realm of It's the next game because that is how you prepare.
You have to, yeah.
The reality here, say they would have played the game in Cincinnati and lost. Well, they would have had a game the next week, and you try to bounce back from it. There's no bouncing back from a loss now.
No.
You lose and the season's over. So, yeah, the focus has to be there. You can't overstate things in a game, but you realize the ramifications of every game now.
And it's the third meeting this season with the Dolphins. Dion Dawkins was asked about what that means, the third matchup, and what an answer he had for us all.
It's just the history. Like, if you go on a date and with somebody 3 times, then you should know that she or he, whoever you're with, likes like a lemon drop or a Shirley Temple. But that's what you should know. So I kind of look at it for what it is. Like, I don't make it like all these giant things. Like, you know, like we're going on our third date. You know, hopefully we can take them home. With a pause.
That's so funny.
Dion likes Shirley Temples with extra cherries and light ice.
Light ice.
That's his drink.
Yeah, he's
it's
a
Joel
fan.
Embiid.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid drinks Shirley Temple. 7'3", Joel Embiid
Don't
orders
sleep on the
Shirley
Shirley
Temples.
Dion with just the funniest line.
By the way, as he started that answer, he just kept navigating through it.
Yeah.
And then delivered the line.
The
at
line.
the end.
lemon drop, the Shirley Temple,
That's not a laugh track.
No,
That is all of
that
us
was all the
bursting out
reporters.
in the
Lost
media room.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but coming up, we're going to talk about Miami, their quarterback, and who exactly is Skylar Thompson.
correct.
Yep.
We got viewers. Ian is watching in Waialua, Hawaii.
Wow, that's cool.
Ian.
As well as I'm sorry I'm missing it now, but somebody's watching in Portland, Oregon as
Nice.
well.
That's cool.
And Dan and I had a viewer, hopefully maybe you're
Gregory
watching now,
from Portland, Oregon.
came up to us from
yeah.
London,
just gonna flip
watches
the
us all
monitors.
the time.
Oh, I was wondering what you're doing. Yeah, no. That's pretty cool. We always love the support as well. And go to the buffaloplusstore.com. Now
Yeah.
you're making me
I'm also very nervous we've put up this site, we have no idea how it works. So good luck.
No, I mean, we've tried it. If someone would like to buy, oh, you can see my sneakers. I shouldn't do that.
Yes. Who would like to buy merchandise? We're talking about shirts. We're talking about hats.
Mugs,
we're talking about
hats,
coffee mugs. Some with
beanies.
Buffalo Plus.
If you
some
have
with some
a
other
baby,
sayings.
we have a baby shirt.
Yeah, we have baby shirts. Yes.
Pasadena, Senegal. I don't know if Senegal.
Yeah.
That's what somebody said.
That is a place.
California. Brando's watching in Rochester.
Nice. Thank
Got
you,
over
Brandon.
400 people watching right now.
Cool. We love
Northern
it.
Mississippi, here in Atlanta.
Northern Mississippi.
Atlanta. We may be coming to see you.
Yeah.
Jared Bear. Yeah, I was just working on the cameras. You know, just doing everything, guys.
Oh
He
my
does it all.
gosh. Do
We
We do it all.
We do it all. Bozeman, Montana.
Oh,
nice.
love Montana.
I'd like to go out there.
Robin Benjamin in
beautiful.
Vegas, originally from Rochester.
Nice.
Vegas.
Bills are not going to Vegas.
No.
We are all over the place.
That's
This is
cool.
crazy.
That is really cool. though.
Worldwide.
Sorry, not
Buffalo
just Senegal,
Plus.
West Senegal.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the nice side of Senegal.
We're going to take a quick break. Oh my gosh. All right, welcome back to Buffalo Plus. Let's get into this matchup. The Bills against the Dolphins. This, again, their third time meeting. This time, of course, in the playoffs. Dan, Mike, what do you think and what do you make of this Dolphins team coming into Orchard Park?
You know, if you're the Dolphins, you had a strange year. We talk about the Bills year. It's been different for the Dolphins, but they struggled. Tua, with all the injuries,
Yeah.
the concussions, the right thing that he is not playing. Hopefully for Tua, he gets back. But it's Skylar Thompson who ends up there. Now, look, Teddy Bridgewater working this week. Maybe he can get on the field. He's dealing with a broken finger. But Skylar Thompson has got to be the guy. Now, they lost 5 of the last 6. They did win the last game.
Mm-hmm.
The offense scored 9 points, and then they got a safety at the end. So they didn't do a ton. He's a guy out of Kansas State. He was drafted in the 7th round.
Yeah.
He wasn't expected to even get near the field this year, and here he is starting a playoff game. It's what's happened for them. By the way, Brock Purdy was drafted after him
Correct.
in the 7th round.
Sure,
But
irrelevant.
Brock Purdy has played game after game now for San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's not
He's
the
the
case
rookie
for
of the month
Skylar
in the
Thompson.
NFC. Like
exactly.
completely different. We've talked about this kind of on Twitter and things like that. I can't remember that many more games that have had this much of a disparity in the postseason at the quarterback position between Josh Allen and Skylar Thompson. And I know that's the Tom Brady and Taylor Heineke from 2020, but like Heineke at least produced something during the year. Skylar Thompson has been in backup fill-in duty and really hasn't shown me much.
No,
the line went from 10 to 13.5 as the time we're taping the show.
Well,
like, this is a massive difference.
It is. And when Tua doesn't play, regardless of whoever it was, they weren't a lot better. But Skylar Thompson played at Kansas State. Now he's getting his opportunity. Look, he has Tyreek Hill. He has Jalen Waddle. He has Mike Gesicki. He has guys he can get the ball to. That's his job. He's come around from him.
He's Skylar.
He's Skylar. Here's Skylar talking about getting this opportunity.
In the way that things have played out this year, to where I've had an opportunity to play, you know, a little bit and have an opportunity like this weekend, it's crazy. But you know, I'm very, very excited for it, and this is what I've worked for a very long time. So it's time to soak it in and have fun with it and do the best that I can to help this team win.
And his mindset has to be, I think, first and foremost, is to not make big mistakes in this game. But then he's got to make big plays. And probably the best way for Skylar Thompson to make big plays in this game is to get the ball into the hands quickly of those stars.
Of the playmakers.
They can make it when they have the football. It's his job to get it to them.
Exactly what you're saying is don't make mistakes. I think that's even more to Josh Allen and the Bills offense. Because of the fact that I don't think Skylar Thompson is going to put up a ton of points. Teams used to play the Bills differently because they didn't have that big of an offense. So they would punt from the 50-yard line. You didn't have to play aggressive. I think this is a lower-scoring game because of Skylar Thompson's on the other side. I think the Bills will play a more defensive style game. I don't think they'll play as aggressive because of it.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, Mike, you put up the tweet kind of talking about and characterizing some of the things. I mean, what went into this? What made you be like, hey, I want to do this?
Well, because people were talking about rookie quarterbacks and how Sean McDermott has done against them. And I think the most fascinating thing about this is, and it's 10-3. You know, he played Mac Jones 3 times in a year. He was a rookie each time they played him, but it is a little different. Mac played the whole year. But look at the 3 games the Bills lost to rookie quarterbacks. I mean, Sam Darnold, that was back in the beginning of 18. That wasn't a very good Bills team. They only gave up 170 yards. We all know about that Jacksonville game against Trevor Lawrence. They only gave up 9 points.
Still think the Bills are going to win that game.
118 passing yards. And then the famous Mac Jones, you know, in the tornado, hurricane winds in that game, 19 passing yards and 14 points, and they end up. So, and the only rookie to throw for 300 was Tua in a game the Bills literally won by 30. So rookies have not done well against Sean McDermott and the defense. It's tough for rookie quarterbacks. It's really tough in a playoff setting.
Mike McDaniel talked about that, of the challenges of starting a rookie quarterback, especially in a playoff game, against the type of offense that is as explosive as the Bills, and the tough situation that can present.
I think it's kind of a dangerous game if you try to start chasing points on the road with a juiced-up crowd and a defense that thrives on turnovers. Otherwise, you'll end up wishing the existence you're trying to avoid.
I totally agree with him. I totally agree with him.
Low scoring.
Yeah, it's got to be for Miami in this game.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Think, well,
they're going to stay in it.
But the idea, somebody was saying, is you never know. You know, Skylar Thompson could have the game of his life. Skylar Thompson needs to be efficient, and that's not easy to do. And then hope his defense plays well enough. Because, look, if the Bills score, it's going to be awful difficult for Miami to try to keep up with them.
They have to keep it close.
So they got to keep it close, keep it low scoring, and try to hold on to the football.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but coming up after, we're going to talk about Micah Hyde, his return, and what he has to say about why he approached his rehab process so aggressively.
Couple points coming in here. Richard Forbes says, what happens if Skylar turns out to be Brock Purdy? He hasn't shown any signs of being Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I mean, look, Brock Purdy's been very good.
Yeah.
But he's in that system. He's played a ton in that system.
Jimmy Key saying, not a fan of McDaniel. I love the guy. I think he is true to himself, and I think so many coaches try and be phony, and they try and be Bill Belichick, or they try and be whoever they learned under. Mike McDaniel is a weird guy. he sounds weird because he's a weird guy. He talks weird because he's a weird guy.
But
he's just weird.
I want to put this out there, though. He can be authentic and you still not like him. Like, just because he is who he is. I appreciate that, but that doesn't mean that I'm, like, buying
But when
in.
people are like, oh, he wears the I wish it was colder shirt. Yeah, he wore a shirt during training camp that said, I wish it was hotter.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
get it.
not, it was 100. He's just a weird dude.
Okay, look at Nick Sirianni with the Eagles.
Yeah.
He's quirky.
He
wears
tries
the
real
shirts.
hard.
He wins, and he's winning. Mike McDaniel didn't win.
That's
he
the
lost
thing.
5 games in a row.
That's the difference. If you win, it's way more acceptable.
But he's also not even had remotely the success Sirianni has had.
No, but
he's
I'm
got a
saying-
9-8 record this year, lost 5 games in a row.
Is he a head coach or a
Didn't
dungeon master?
Well,
Well,
didn't handle a lot of the circumstances as well as some people thought. And he was on the edge there. And with that ownership in Miami, and maybe Tom Brady's still sniffing around out there, you never know what's going to happen in Miami at the end of this season.
Well, my point was going to be the fact that when they're winning, he's quirky. When they're not and they're losing, he's weird. And that narrative will be dictated and played out by the results.
500 people watching the show or the store, BuffaloPlusStore.com.
Yeah.
Get the merch.
Okay. All right. All right, welcome back to Buffalo Plus, a playoff edition presented by Connors and Ferris. Let's take a quick look at the Bills injury report, sponsored by UR Medicine, Sports Medicine. Jordan Poyer earlier on in the week did not practice, but Mike, him getting back out there. What do you make of that list and, I mean, some of these guys?
Yeah, Isaiah McKenzie is the one. Now, they did bring Cole Beasley up to the regular roster, opens up some opportunities for them, especially in any emergency situation with a player. Because they can always bring John Brown up from the practice squad. I don't know about Isaiah. Jordan Phillips, certainly to keep an eye on, not practicing, but it's a shoulder. We'll see if he does. Poyer, I think, is going to be fine.
Yep.
He limited. It's partially a veteran rest day, so the same with Roger Saffold. It's more been the Dolphins. You know, Mostert not practicing this week for most of the week, and obviously Tua already out. But for the Bills, relatively healthy coming into this one.
And Dan, we know Micah Hyde, the smiles we saw him back at practice. Again, he was a limited participant, but let's talk about it considering he had neck surgery in early October, him getting back out here, and just what did you see from him on the field this week?
Joy. I think it was a sense of relief of him getting back out there. He said that when he saw his doctor the last time he went in there, a doctor walked in the room and him and the doctor just started laughing because he knew he wanted to get back out there. He doesn't know he will not play on Sunday, and we kept pushing him this week, Jenna, going, well, if they win, like next week, like you ready to go? You ready to go? And he again said, it's not up to me, it's up to the doctors.
Yeah, but he did talk about why he fought so hard and was so intent on trying to get back. Here's what he had to say.
I'm very, very grateful to be in the position that I am right now and to see my teammates throughout this whole season, all the things that we have been through, you name it, the weather, the injuries, D-Ham situation, just all this stuff, just seeing my boys, my teammates, go out there and continue to fight. It wouldn't be, I have to make it, I have to give it a go. I have to, and so this is a special group. I've been saying it all along, and I'm just glad I can be a part of it today.
Yeah, again, the doctors will have the ultimate say in when he will be cleared for game action. But, Mike, he talked about he didn't sleep the day before practice on Wednesday because he felt like he was so excited. It almost felt like the first day of school for him.
He's playing next week. If the Bills win, he's playing. And by the way, say doctors, and I agree, I'm not going to parse the words. I think it's going to be more trainers to say, is he physically ready to go out and play?
He says his neck is healed.
That's why I'm saying is I think the doctors have already given him the okay to resume practice, and they'll ramp him up a little bit. But look, he has acted like a guy in every form over the last month or so that is getting himself ready to play.
I asked him how his coaching skill was. He said he was can't say it now, but he said he was a decent coach. But he said the record isn't indicative of how good of a coach he is. He doesn't get all the credit for it.
Yeah.
During his coaching, they haven't lost while he's been assistant coach, I don't think, right?
I mean,
he sort of came back, and we was gone for a little while and came back.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was
7
very
in a row.
confused.
When since he's been back
Was he
in
back
more
for
of
the Vikings game?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right.
You want me to talk about our sponsor,
Yeah,
Greg
of course.
Connors? He's ready for this game. He is fired up for this one. So we talked about what you expect in this game, and he went right to number 17 about Josh Allen, the way he plays at this time of the year against this team, and the key for the Bills this week.
One thing that gives me some level of confidence is that Josh Allen is a different quarterback in the playoffs than he's been in regular season. Mike, for me, this game comes down to one thing and one thing only. How does the offensive line play against the Dolphins' strong defensive line? If they can stand up and they can hold their own, Josh is going to make it happen with the running game as well as the passing game. And this game is 35-14.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sets up very well for the Bills. And Allen has played well. He's played very well in the playoffs, especially the last few years. And he's certainly played very well against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Player of the Week honors multiple times after playing against the Dolphins. So we'll see what happens Sunday.
All right, coming up, we're going to take a quick break. But after that, our picks and predictions for this playoff matchup. We'll have it coming up.
Somebody already commented they liked the Let James Cook shirt.
Nice.
Oh.
And a couple people would buy shirts that said, Dan was right about something back in 2022.
That's funny.
I thought that was pretty good. You guys haven't copyrighted that, so that's mine now.
Yes.
That's ours.
Yeah, people have ideas for shirts, too.
Yeah. We're wide open to ideas.
Yeah, we're not too cool. I made that our featured shirt, Dan.
Remember that time Dan was right. That's another shirt idea.
That's a good idea. We have a shirt that I like too, though. Throw the damn ball.
Do you remember that time Dan was right? No.
I think that was in his dreams.
Yeah.
Michael saying it's nice to be talking about football and a relatively healthy team. No weather, injury to Hamlin seems to be better. Like, I agree.
Yeah.
It was a very rough week for the fans, for the entire football community. Very tough. It is nice to talk about football. Positive news for DeMar and moving forward.
Yeah. And I really do feel like that for the team, that has just been such a weight off of their shoulders, knowing that, their teammate, their brother is getting better. And at home, that's another thing.
It's big. I will always stress this. It's 53, it's 70 guys on this team. And coaches. Not everybody handles everything in a linear way. We heard Trey White last week. It was difficult. And those players are dealing more with what they saw. Now, they're thrilled that their teammate is doing better, and that's awesome. That's the number one thing. But people deal with those things differently.
You process in
and I think it
ways.
was good for Trey to even talk about that a little bit publicly.
I think it's cathartic.
Yeah,
I really
think it is. And he played well. He got the pick, and they'll need him big in this game, and they'll need him big if they get the victory and go forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Your pick, then me, then Mike.
I thought it was you first.
No, it looks like it's you first, Jenna.
Can we do yours first?
Sure. If somebody flips it back
Rusty,
there.
is that okay? Right.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Buffalo Plus. Mike, he already wants to talk about it, but I'm going to start with Dan. I'm going to start with Dan because we're going to do our picks and predictions for this playoff game.
Look, it's a big line. As of right now, it's 13 and a half, but I think this game is a lot lower scoring. I think the Bills play a more conservative style. And while it pains me to say that, and I know that's not what this offense has been about, I think they understand that punts and field goals will be okay. Make Skylar Thompson beat you. Do not turn the ball over, and you win easily. 26-27 to 13. I think it's a conservative game plan for the Bills to get the win and move on.
I think that's the thing. They don't have to have, everything go right in this game. But that being said, you can't overlook this Dolphins team. I know they're going to have Skylar Thompson probably under center. But at the same point, this Bills team needs to stick to what they do well. Josh Allen, I don't want to see any turnovers for him. I want to see the run game, actually, Dan. I'm sorry to say this. But they played pretty well last week. I want to see that continue to build. And defensively, I want to see this Bills team get after it. I want to see pressure on Skylar Thompson and just force him to make big mistakes. Because as a rookie, playing in his first playoff game, the stakes are huge, and I don't know if he'll be up for that challenge. So I have the Bills winning this game more than Dan did. I have 28-14 as my final score, but I have the Bills moving on in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the process of how they get it done, and I'm going to disagree with Dan a little bit here. I think the best thing that the Bills can do is play like the Bills, aggressively go after things offensively, put Skylar Thompson in that spot of trying to keep up or figure out a way to keep up. They want to make him uncomfortable. Down 14-0 makes him uncomfortable. I think the Bills get it going with the passing game early and often. I think they put up big points in the first half and cruise to the victory in the second half. I think this game is a blowout. The better team wins. Certainly the quarterback disparity is huge. I have the Bills winning at 31-10.
Do you guys expect some of those big explosive chunk plays and maybe those touchdowns that we saw last week? I think seeing that last week makes me have more confidence in them trying to do that again this week.
Yeah, Miami is beaten up in the secondary, too. This team has dealt with a lot. I mean, we know everything the Bills have dealt with this year. Obviously, injuries have been an issue for them. Their secondary is still not healthy. I think Josh Allen goes after them.
I think this is more of a, not that you can keep anything back. I just wouldn't show my full hand here against a bad Miami Dolphins team that is banged up with Skylar Thompson.
Slow play.
I think that I really think that you can just say, I know you talked about it, and it's a good point. Getting Skylar Thompson down 14-0 would make him super uncomfortable. I think 3-0 makes him super uncomfortable because I don't think there's any possibility that Skylar Thompson is able to drive the ball down the field at any consistency.
All right. Dan said it.
I'm actually talking about being passive and conservative for once.
I say light them up early and often. That's the way I would play
Let's
it.
take a quick look at all of our score predictions. We are going Bills in this one. And, hey, be sure to check out the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Just scan that QR code on your phone right now. That'll take you directly to our page. If you enjoy our comment, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as always. For Mike and Dan, I'm Jenna Cottrell. We always appreciate all the love. Be sure to subscribe to the Buffalo Plus channel on YouTube. We'll have plenty of coverage there as the Bills hosting the Dolphins in the first round of the playoffs. Thanks for watching.